Welcome back to your regularly scheduled programming. I'm Gerald Stitcher, your host, and this is FlossTube number 107. Hi Yins, how are you doing today? Hope you're all doing well. It is Saturday. Is it the 10th of April? I think so. Yeah, it's definitely the 10th of April. I know it's the 10th. And it's a Saturday. And I'm filming and I'm kind of out of routine here. So we are back in the Henry section of the home. Henry and Deer. Welcome back. I'm only just kind of having I'm trying not to say kind of anymore. I've caught myself saying it so many times in my life on a regular basis that I'm trying to cut it out of my vernacular. But sometimes it's important. It's sometimes used, but most of the time it's just one of those filler words. But it often gets used more frequently than it should. So I'm having my coffee. I started having my coffee later today than I normally do because I got up and I actually went jogging this morning, right out of bed. I wasn't sure if when I woke up, it looked like it was going to be rainy all day, and I looked out and it actually looked like it had just rained. That might have actually been the dew from the morning, because you know, spring dew, and it makes everything look wet whenever you first wake up. It looks like things are drying out now, so it might not rain today. I know it's definitely going to rain tomorrow, so that's why I wanted to go jogging today. The reason I'm not looking at you is because I'm actually looking outside as I talk about outside. So, yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day, and I wanted to go out and enjoy the weather this morning. So when I got out of bed at like 6 a.m., I decided I'm going to go and do my jogging now, so while I still have the energy and the motivation to do it, because once I sit on that couch and drink my coffee, I'm probably not going to want to do it anymore. So I got up and I got dressed and I went jogging. Well, jogging, walking, jog walking, whatever you want to call it. I'm still building my tolerance for jogging back up. So I did my exercising for the day, and now I'm drinking my coffee. And it's 12:15 in the morning, afternoon, noon-ish time. So anyways, welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm Gerald. As I said at the beginning, Gerald Stitcher. I would assume you know that because you logged onto my channel and hit the play button. This is a channel all about I hit the tripod. This is a channel all about crafting, cross stitch, knitting, occasional other crafts. Not today. and not a whole lot of crafting in general. We also have other creative endeavors such as gardening and plant life. I have another plant down there. That one's, this plant I actually had out on the porch, and it is now back in this corner because this is my money tree. It got a little sunburn, so it is back in the corner here and doing much better. So, but I do have plants out on this on the balcony. I have my amaryllis who are out on the porch. They're doing excellent. I keep looking at the porch because I'm talking about it. So porch, balcony, same thing. I have my hibiscus out there. The first bloom is opening up today. It is super exciting. Can't wait to show you. Follow me on Instagram for all of my, typically lately it's been a lot of plant pictures instead of cross-stitching and knitting pictures. I am starting to get more into my stitching again, so there have been some more pictures of that. But ginger.gerald.stitcher on Instagram if you're interested in that. But what I was trying to say at the beginning there was make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below so you get updates on all of my videos. And if you are new to my channel, I really hope you like what you see here and you consider hitting the subscribe button. I also want to thank all of you who have recently and not so recently, but since I said thank you, bought me a coffee. There is a link in my information section in every video. Since I signed up for that feature that you can buy me a coffee, that is basically a way to, I guess, tip me or thank you, say thank you for the content that I provide to you. Of course, it is not a requirement or mandatory thing that you do. This is, YouTube is a free content, a free way of receiving content, such as my channel. And, I do take a lot of time and effort to make the content for you all, as well as I put a lot of money into my content that I put out. And I do really appreciate all of you supporting my channel in that means as well as some of the giveaways that I also do for you, and that those tips and buy me a coffee help support the giveaways, the shipping and the cost, the purchase of the shipping and those kind of things for the giveaways. Speaking of giveaways, all of my giveaways that I have done during the Exuding Kindness videos have now been sent out or will be sent out by Monday. So if you are waiting for a giveaway from me, a giveaway package from me, they will be put in the mail on Monday if you have not heard from me or received a package yet. I did take a little bit of time for myself after that last video of the Exuding Kindness videos. The daily videos that ended up not being so daily did kind of burn myself out, along with just the stress from work and the stress from life. I did get kind of hectic, so I took some time for myself. Crafting there towards the end of the videos kind of like waned, and luckily it's coming back nice and strong. So without further ado, I don't know where that Southern French accent came from. Let's go ahead and get into my knitting. All right, so my knitting has been probably the most prolific of all of my crafting endeavors, other than gardening, that I've been doing. But unfortunately, because I've been doing a bunch of different projects, there isn't one project that has a whole lot of progress on it more than any. It's not gonna look like I have a whole lot of progress on any one project. So first off, I have, of course, if you followed me on my Exuding Kindness videos, I have 3 socks that are on the go. I have not started anything new. I don't have any finishes in my knitting. So the first sock is the Mystery Nitpicks cake of yarn that I've had caked up for 3 years. And I think it's a Hawthorne kettle dye, but I'm not sure. Some viewers kindly were talking with me on Instagram about what it could be. And we think it's a Hawthorne, even though it's really soft for the Hawthorns that I've used before. It could just be something that I know that I'm 99% sure they don't carry it any longer. But here is the progress that I have on this sock. And again, this is one sock that I might have put 10 rows of stitching in it since the last 2 weeks since I've filmed last. Again, this is a toe up sock, as are all of my socks these days. And this is using a ChiaoGoo red lace 9-inch circular. I start my toe up, all of my toe up socks with, all of my toe up socks that you're gonna see today are on ChiaoGoo 9-inch circulars. This is a 2.5 millimeter, or I'm sorry, not a 2.5 millimeter. This is a US, yeah, it's a 2.5 millimeter US 1.5 needle. I start all of my socks with DPNs, ChiaoGoo DPNs that you're gonna see today. And then I move to the 9-inch circulars once I have all the increases done. So I'm currently working on the length of the foot. This is again going to be for a friend, a coworker. And there we go. So not a whole lot of progress on that one. I think, like I said, 10 rows. Next up, again, not a whole lot of progress. It's going to be the theme. This is a sock that actually has a pattern. And this is the diagonal lace socks. This is a pair of socks that I'm doing for myself. This is a free pattern you can find on Ravelry. And this is using a US 0. So this is a US 0, which is a 2.0 millimeter, a 2 millimeter. It's a 2 millimeter in international, and it's a US 0. Again, it's a ChiaoGoo red lace sock, 9-inch circular. I started with the DPNs, and here is my sock so far. So you can see the lace there. Now I did change the pattern ever so slightly for myself because I prefer the rounded toe. So I followed the rounded toe pattern that I prefer and just modified it enough that I could get the rounded toe look for this sock. This is using Valley Yarns Huntington sock yarn, and it is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And I believe this is called chocolate brown, or it could just be brown. I'm not exactly sure what the color of the yarn is. I think it's chocolate. But again, there is the lace work. Really easy pattern to follow. The back of the foot is just a stockinette. This pattern is written as a toe up lace pattern. And so this yarn comes in a 50-gram ball or skein that I caked up. And I know I did. I did 2 rows of the pattern repeat. So I did 24 rows on this sock. Because the pattern repeat is 12 rows. There we go. It's blowing the color out, but you can see the lace better there. So there is sock number 2. Go ahead and just wind this up ever so slightly. The last sock that I am currently working on is the one that has the most progress. And this is one that I have the foot almost done. And this is using a Peyton's Croy sock yarn. And this is in the color Gray Brown Marl. Gray Brown Marl. And I bought this at Joann's a couple years ago. 2 years ago, maybe. Again, if you are new to my channel, I am trying to use up all of my yarn stash that I've had laying around for a while. So this is the first yarn I've had for like 3 years, like I said. The second yarn I just bought last year, but I found that pattern and I really wanted to just try that pattern. And this yarn is another older one that this is the last of the Peyton's Croy that I'm trying to use up. So I'm just trying to use up my sock yarn and move it out of the house. Or move it on and use up what I have. So I can feel confident. I like to use what I have. So I want to clean house. So this is, again, another one that's going to be for a friend at work. And so here is my progress. This is again on the 2.5 millimeter or US 1, what is it? I already forgot. It's a US 1.5, US 2.5 millimeter. And here is the progress on the sock. So this sock leg is almost done. It's again my basic sock that I use, the rounded toe with the stockinette foot. I'm really loving this colorway and the striping that this one makes. This one also for a Peyton's Croy is a really soft yarn for a Peyton's Croy. So really nice color. So looking forward to getting to the point where I can put in the heel. So I'm going to be riding along in the car today. Probably going to be taking this one along so I can get to a point where I can cast on, or not cast on, but do the heel. So we'll see. We'll see how far we get today. So I do take socks in the car whenever I'm riding because they're simple and I can just round and round and round. So this one will probably go with me along with the first one I showed. That is just a basic pattern. I don't take anything that's like intense that I have to think a lot, like the lace pattern. The last thing I have to show then is let me put this away before I forget where it's at. The last thing I have to show is my sweater that I'm working on. So the sweater that I'm working on is a drops pattern. It is a free pattern that you can find on the website garnstudio.com. I am doing the Twilight sweater by Drops. It is a basic V-neck pullover with a seed stitch yoke. It is knit in the round from the bottom up. And this is one again that I am working whenever I feel like knitting at home, and I just want to work whenever I don't feel like stitching, and I want something easy to work on while I'm watching TV or whatever. So I'm using 2 strands of Holsgarn Coast. So I have two cones. So I'm doing Coast. So I'm using one strand of each held together. And it is, Coast is a 55% merino wool, 45% cotton, I think. I think that's what it is. It's written there, but it's not written in English. So, and it's in the color aconite. So it's a really nice mustardy yellow color. Of course, that's my favorite color. So, and here is my progress. I am almost to 9 inches on the sweater. So going a little slow, but I'm in no rush because it's not going to be worn this year. So there we go. Nice. It's going to be a nice lightweight sweater that I can wear over top of a button-down dress shirt or a button-down dress shirt because it's V-neck, so I can wear like a collared shirt or by itself. So I'm really, really liking. I love the drape. I love the feel of it. It's looking really nice. It's stitching up really nicely. And of course, even though it looks kind of holey, or it looks like it's not a very thick fabric, once you wash it, because of the way Holsgarn is with the they send out their yarn with the spinning oil still in it. Once you wash it, it blooms really nicely and it thickens up. So it's going to be a really nice sweater once it washes. Not that it's not really nice now, but it's going to look really nice whenever it's done. So there we go. Still a ways to go. But it's coming along nicely. So there we go. That is all of my knitting progress for the last couple weeks. Let's talk about some cross stitch now. So, to be honest and perfectly fair, I have not done a whole lot. Well, I've done a little bit of cross stitching. And so what happened was, as I was wrapping up the Exuding Kindness videos, I was losing my cross stitch interest. I was losing touch with my motivation to cross stitch. And so for a week or so, I didn't stitch at all. And then shortly after I finished my last my Exuding Kindness video, I all of a sudden was like, I want to stitch again. So the very first thing I pulled out was my Heaven and Earth Designs Harbor Lights. So that is what it looks like that is the artist rendering. It is artwork by John Bradley. Unfortunately, Heaven and Earth Designs no longer carries John Bradley artwork. You can't. I have been informed that you can find this art on other full coverage websites. Just you cannot get this one specifically from Heaven and Earth Designs. I bought this pattern back in 2016, so I've been holding on to this pattern for a while now. So that is what it will look like when it's done. This pattern is, finished design is 625 stitches wide by 416 high. On 25 count, it's 25 inches wide by 16 and 5/8 inches high. I'm stitching it on 28 count instead of 25 count, so it'll be slightly smaller, not drastically smaller, just like Henry was stitched on 25 count, or I'm sorry, 28 count instead of the 25 count. So he was stitched, the dimensions were ever so slightly smaller as well. So, here is where we got to on, and I am also using, I am now using Pattern Keeper on for my full coverage pieces, and I'm really liking Pattern Keeper so far. I did end up using up the entire time frame of the free trial of the Pattern Keeper app, so I did go ahead and purchase the paid for version. I didn't realize there was a paid for version, but I do realize there is now. I went ahead and purchased it because I do like the paid for I do like Pattern Keeper, and it's working great for me. I don't have any complaints for it. I think it's, I wouldn't say it's any quicker than any of the other apps that I use, but I don't think it's any. I do like the feature where it tells you what the pattern or what the DMC color is, so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth with my paper keys. I think that is one advantage to Pattern Keeper that other systems don't have. So I will say that. Anyways, here is my progress on my, as you can see, I have it on my Omnic. This is my Omnic stitching frame. The Omnic, is it a Millennium? I don't know. I just call it my Omnic frame because Quantum is it Omnic Quantum frame. This is the longest one I have, and then I have, this is my large frame adapter for the Lowry stand. So then you stick the clamp for the Lowry stand onto this, and then it holds the Omnic frame. And it works great. I think it works great. So that just so if you have any questions about what this is, that's what it is. This is from Omnic.com, O-M-A-N-I-K, Omnic. And here's what I did. So as you can see, I still don't have page 1 done. And when I stitched Henry, I did page by page. But now that I have Pattern Keeper, I don't have to do that anymore. And while I kind of feel like I need to, I decided I didn't want to do that. So I went ahead, and let's just move up here a little bit. I went ahead and stitched, I went ahead and stitched all one color. And I stitched about 1,200 stitches of all one color out onto like page 2 and page 3. Because I could. So that is what I did. So all of this is all one color. I think it's number 414. And I still have like 5,000, according to Pattern Keeper, I have like 5,900 stitches of 414 left to go in the entire pattern. I think it's predominantly all clouds that is calling for 414. I think there's some in the water at the bottom of the pattern, but that is where we got off to in that. So I know there's more down here on page 1, but I just went ahead and continued going all in where I was at. So I would do like, basically I would do a 100 square, a 10 by 10 block of that section And then I would just keep going across the page. And that is what I did on my full coverage pattern. Now, am I going to see great progress doing that? I don't know, but that's what I wanted to do, just to try out more of the feature of the Pattern Keeper to try out Pattern Keeper. So that is Pattern Keeper. This is I'm losing my thoughts here, people. Harbor Lights by Heaven and Earth Designs, John Bradley. It's stitched 1/1, so one strand of DMC over 1X on, or one thread of the 28 count white Lugana. So this is white Lugana, 28 count, 1/1. Okay. The only other thing I stitched on in the last 2 weeks then, because I think I stitched on Harbor Lights for almost a week, or at least a good 5 days, 4 or 5 days. So the only other thing I stitched on was the castles, and I don't know what it's exactly called, picture right here, of castles. It is from the Etsy store 2x2 cross stitch, 2x2 something, a link will be below. 2x2 something, I know it's 2x2 on Etsy, I know that much. But that is what I'm working on, and it is a monochrome piece that I'm using DMC number 29. It's a purpley brown. I almost want to say like a purpley brown color. So it's number DMC 29. I am actually almost ready to move on to the second skein of DMC. So I'm glad I went ahead and bought a second skein. So I skeined it, I bobbinated up the second skein, and then I went ahead and put what little remains of the first skein onto the bobbin there whenever I was done stitching today. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw a little bit of my progress from earlier in the week. But I did finish the border of my first pattern. And today I went ahead and stitched this little branch of, I guess it's a tree, even though to me it looks like a little bit of a succulent. So there we go. This is on 28 count, 1/1 as well. So 28 count. This is 28 count. This is 28 count linen, I think. Yeah, this is 28 count linen. 1/1. This is a solo die from Silk Weaver. So I bought this at the whenever I was at the New Jersey FlossTube, the New Jersey FlossTube retreat back in 2019. And this is a solo die, so it doesn't have a name other than solo die. So this is a 28 count solo die, and I'm using the DMC number 29 for the color. So the other day I completely filled in the entire border. Last time you saw this on a video, the only thing that was done was the outside border. So since you saw it last, I went ahead and filled in. There is a inner 1X border the whole way around. And then there's the inner, more detailed border. And then there's a second 1X border the whole way around. And I did all of that. And then I thought I was going to go ahead and put it away after I did that. But then I was like, no, I don't really want to put it away yet. So I went ahead and stitched this branch here. So that is my progress. And I'm super happy about that. I think it looks really good. I'm really pleased with how that's looking. And this right here, even though it's kind of small looking, took me three hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe. So there we go. That is my cross stitch progress for the last 2 weeks. Itchy nose. Let's go ahead and talk about plans. A couple purchases. No, one purchase. Let's talk about purchases and plans. Let's talk purchases. So the only purchase I've had, other than like flower pots and maybe a couple plants, because I did buy a couple plants in the last couple weeks, but it is springtime, so but I'm not going to show those on here today. Maybe in future videos, as I showcase some plants, I will talk about those. And this isn't really a purchase because I paid for this back in January, but I got the last installment of my Trilogy Yarns Happy Hour Yarn Club. So I paid for back in January, I paid for a 3-month subscription to the Happy Hour Yarn Club, which is an MCN, which is merino, cashmere, nylon, 4-ply fingering yarn club, which is happy hour, meaning that the colors are based on cocktails. And so this is the colorway that I got this time. And it is called Easter Bunny Cocktail, which I've never heard of before. And of course I got a recipe for the cocktail. I don't think I'm going to resubscribe for another 3 months. And the reason is that while I enjoyed the first 2 months, I'm not super thrilled about, I mean, I think this is a great color, but this is month 3. This is month 1. And so there's not a great, I mean, while I understand like this is purple, this is brown, to me, there's not a big change in colors to make it worth me like to get. I just don't, myself, I don't see a big change in the colors to make it a worthwhile. There's just so many different colors of drinks and cocktails out there. Like for me to get 2 that are very, very similar like this, I just don't see. Not that I'm disappointed in any way. I think the yarns are great. I think the colors are great. I just don't see a big enough variety to make it worthwhile. Like cocktails are brown and golds, and like where's those that of the colors like I like. So there we go. That's my thoughts on that. So that is the only purchase that I got in the mail. So let's talk plans. So I have some loose plans that I'm already starting to think ahead, because my plan is to start. I talked early on during the Exuding Kindness videos about the mushroom and fern mandala gift that I received, that I would like to start that for my birthday. So for Birthday Palooza this year, my birthday is June 24th. So 99% sure, knock on wood, that I'm going to start mushroom and fern mandala for my birthday. Now, with that being said, I would like to finish a couple things before I get to, I would like to be in a good place with a couple of my projects, such as finishing a couple of them, before I start the mushroom and fern mandala, because that is such a large piece. And I already have so many large pieces going, and I just would feel much better about where I'm at with some of my projects if I could get a couple of these other ones out of the way, such as the castles. So I think right now I'm going to continue working on the castles either until it's finished or until I get completely sick of it. And I feel like my cross stitching is starting to wane. And if I feel like that, then I'm going to move on to another project. But if I don't feel like that, and I feel like I can continue working on it, I might stay a monogamous stitcher until that project is done. And if that's the case, I might not have a lot of progress on any other projects for the next video. It might just be the one project. But that's just the case, that's just where I'm at right now with my projects. So, however, some other plans that are in contention here is the fact that I had planned this year that I was going to work on my Vickery collection beer steins. I've already done the winter one. Winter. And I completely forgot that it's now spring. Didn't really forget. Just forgot that I was doing these. Excuse me. So I need to work on the spring. So pansies are in the plan as well. So I need to work on the pansy beer stein at some point here too. So I was thinking about, like, the initial plan was that I was going to get the border on the castles done and then pull this out and work on this until completion. But since I'm still feeling an energy around the castles, I'm going to work on that until I feel like I don't want to work on that anymore, or until it's done. And then I'll probably start this. But I would like to get this done because I want to keep moving on these as well. I know I say I want to finish things, and then what do? I pull something out that says I need to work on this. But technically this isn't necessarily a start because the project is already kind of started. It's just like a mini start. Whatever. But that won't take super long to finish, and it'll be like a nice palette cleanser. So as long as I have it started, if it doesn't get done in spring, that's all right, but I would like to get it started, so at least I feel like it's started. And then the other thing I would like to see some good progress on is the Long Dog Samplers, Le Jardin des Plaisirs. Is that what it's called? I don't have it here either. It's in the other room. So, but yeah, I would like to see some good progress on that. Now that's pretty far from a finish, but I could easily, if I really focus on that once the castles are done, I could work on that and get some good hearty progress on that. Possibly a finish before June 24th. But there's other things that are competing for interest or for attention as well, such as my Heaven and Earth designs. The London is still like right up there with I want to work on. But I think with London, I might move to the other side just to get like some focus on I think I'm stalling out with London just because I'm burned out with that one section that I just have not seen any momentum on. So I might move to the other side of the project and work on something like the tree or the Tower of London, where I might actually see some progress. We'll see. So that's where I'm at mentally with my cross stitch. So, but I'm also really enjoying my knitting and my plants right now, and you know, it's just a great time for I love spring. I love the fact that weather is improving, other than I will be happy when we get through the green haze of pollen. Once all the pollen of the trees and everything, we get through that, because right now I'm looking at the tree right outside my balcony, and it just has those big pods of pollen hanging there ready to release. Once we get through that green haze time, when everything is covered in pollen, then I'll be happy and move on to beautiful weather. So I hope you are enjoying the same. So that is my plans. I hope you are having a great spring if you are in the Northern Hemisphere. I hope you're enjoying fall if you're in the Southern. And I hope you're having a lot of opportunities to stitch. Excuse me, I'm just having a coughing fit right now at the moment. There we go. I hope you're having great opportunities to do your crafting, whatever that may be. And until we see each other again, I hope you have lots of opportunities to enjoy the weather, stitch lots of things, exude that kindness, as we had said for the last couple months, but that doesn't stop just because the season is over. We need to continue doing that throughout the entire year, and always create those things you wish existed in the world. And as always, don't forget to always be creative.